It's really not a lot different than it has been in the past. In order to first page, just stay with me on the first page. The first thing is that, before you go and you go even do the workouts, you need to make sure you have all the right tools to do that. That means you're hydrated, you've eaten the right way. In order to be able to do a tough workout, you bring a stopwatch to each workout. You're going to need to have times measured. You're going to need to make sure you have the distance measured. So mainly these workouts should be at a track anyways, because that's really where you need to run. I mean, every once in a while it might be all right to go run on a treadmill or to go run inside or whatever, but for the most part you guys need to be running outside so you can at least acclimate yourself to the heat. Some of you guys are going to be over in the cooler climates over the summer, so you already have something to adapt to when you come back to here, because it's going to be warmer here, I guarantee. So that's the reason why. Anytime you guys see sort of hard runs out on in the conditioning program, you should make sure that you guys are getting yourself warmed up and stretched out. Dynamic stretching and then static stretching, and then of course those are distances for the track. A quarter lap around the track is 100 meters, half a lap is 200, 3/4 of a normal track is 300 meters, and 1 lap around an outdoor track is usually 400, and then kind of goes from there. You should also bring your conditioning program to it. You need to know what you're supposed to do. You don't want to get there and then go, oh, I don't know, what I'm supposed to be doing on this particular day. And there's a lot of stuff that's specific, and there's things that look the same and then end up changing too as well, because we're trying to make things tougher as we go along with certain workouts where we take away rest time, or we maybe make runs shorter in the amount of time that it takes you to do it. So, and you see we get started there on May the 27th, and so that first week is kind of just getting us back into the swing of things. And then the following week on June the 3rd, we're back into the thick of it, and we're starting to get into the type of runs that we want to address in this beginning part of the conditioning program. You obviously know Wednesday where you stand as far as your fitness level. That's something that we always do during the spring to end it, so you guys know going in, and then you'll have another couple weeks off before you get started. And really that week of May the 27th is the week to say, I'm going to start planning things out as far as making sure I get these runs in. I'm going to make sure that I start to get myself to do it on your own. Because we've done a lot of runs, but we've also done a lot of runs when you've needed to be there. So now it's up to you guys to do it on your own. And you always want to begin with that end in mind of what you want to come back in the fall. Because the condition that you are in when you come back in the fall sets the tone to our season. If we have to be addressing fitness issues with people throughout the training camp, and then they can't train with us as much because we got to worry about getting them as fit as they need to be, then that takes away from our season, and that's not something we want to do. We were a little bit, I think, off last fall as far as fitness level went compared to the previous fall. So the distance that you do down on Wednesday is the correct distance, will be the correct distance of the beat test. And whatever you get, you get. Yes.
Doing outside or?
Yes, outside. Most likely on the front lawn, because it has a place for us to plug the CD player in. So you guys can see we start there with our running, and so we have that June the 3rd to 9th, we start doing some sprint jog intervals and some also sprinting workouts. For the sprint jog intervals, I pointed this out during the runs that you guys did, and that's one of the reasons why it's good for us to do the runs together, and then for me to point some stuff out to you guys, and then to give you guys the same runs to do over the summer. I said that the sprints for some groups on that one day that we did it needed to be faster, and the jog could have been even a little bit slower. So you should know the difference between what you should be doing when you're switching back and forth between a jog and a sprint. I would assume with most of when I have an interval on here and you're going back and forth between a jog and a sprint, that the distance and the time I'm getting you guys could probably normally do with just running around. at a pretty good pace. The point is to be working in a certain energy system for ourselves. We want to work hard in the sprint and we want to recover in the jog. And I've given you guys goals for what you should be kind of looking at too when you do that sprint and when you do that jog. So you even have something in mind for how long it should take you and how much you should be able to cover in that. So, and again, as we go along, so turn to that next page, we start incorporating more interval type of running. We're starting to do more of that. We're starting to take down some of those jog and sprint intervals. In June the 17th, you see we switch from a sprint for 15 seconds, but only a jog for 45 seconds. So there's less recovery time. And then when we're talking about that one workout for around a game field, that should be a normal game field. So don't cheat yourself and start. So again, when we're talking about a soccer field, that should be a normal soccer field. And again, some of these distances, you need to make sure you have the exact measurement. If you obviously track, it's easier to figure out all those distances. But even when we're talking about a certain amount of yards or something like that, or we're talking about a game field to do some of the running on, you need to make sure you have the right distances. When we say 120 yards, that could be the length of a soccer field. If it's short of that, then you need to add on to that for your run. So that's some stuff I want to point out to you guys, and to make sure you understand, even though you might be seeing sprint 400 meters and then in a couple weeks see sprint 400 meters, the times that you should be getting and the amount of rest that you should be taking is going to probably change. And a lot of those workouts that look similar, it's just a matter of reducing some of the time or adding more distance to cover, something like that as far as that goes in here. And so lastly, what I want to say about the conditioning program is to make sure that you guys do not use trying to play on a team and playing games, overuse that, and not do enough of this conditioning program. Because you guys know very well from the spring, now everyone in this room knows that our workouts that we did for 20 or 25 minutes took a lot out of you guys, and that's what these type of workouts will be on the conditioning program. So when guys first of all say one thing, oh, I ran all summer, well, what did you do? Did you actually do this running, or did you just go out and run? Because that's not going to get you in shape. So that's the first thing that you need to avoid. The second thing is, well, I played all summer. Well, you guys, it's your responsibility as players to make sure that you're fit at the level that you need to be at. This running that you do will get you to that level. So if you say, well, I'm going to try to play in games and do some training over the summer, which is fine, but if you overuse that and you don't remember what it feels like to do the runnings that we've done, the runs that we've done, or just don't pay attention close enough, that's on you, and that's going to hurt the team and yourself at the end of the day. So don't let that happen. Make sure that you understand that this running here is going to lead you to being able to do the running, to be able to come in and be at the fitness level that we need you guys, everyone, to be at when our season starts. So you also have some static stretching, which you should be doing at the end. And then also the next page in there after static stretching is just a sheet for yourself to keep track. Because sometimes people do better when they're actually, and some of you maybe don't even know yourselves well enough to know it, but should, to use this type of an evaluation sheet to hold yourself accountable. Yes?
Are you going to send us this running also?
I'm going to email it to you guys. So you guys will have this in this hard copy and an email, and then you can print out copies of this and the strength workout sheets too as well, so you can use them every time you do a workout for strength training, or every single time you do a week goes by and you need another one of these sheets. But this is a good form to say, what have I done? What have I really done this week? What am I doing? What am I going to do for the next week if I did not do what I was supposed to do? So hopefully everyone will do that. Then the next page in there, we have the strength training. And again, I've kept this very, very simple. The running workouts should be a lot familiar to you. A lot of them should be very familiar to you. We've done them a lot of them during the winter and the spring. So that should be pretty easy for you guys. And I've also kind of made it easy with the strength training, because what we did during the winter and the spring, we want to maintain over the summer, and we want to maintain even into the fall, because there's no point in doing strength training, doing all this strength training to stop doing it. I mean, that's silly. I mean, we've gained a level of strength, and it's going to help us with athletic performance, and it's going to help us with injury prevention. So we need to keep it during keep going during the summer to continue to maintain it. And I think it's a very reasonable thing to do. And I've even, guys, have given you stuff that you can do if you didn't have, for some reason, access to a gym, whether that be for the whole summer or for part of the summer. I've given you all those type of exercises that you can do without it. All you simply would need is basically a medicine ball if you can't do that. Obviously, if you have access to the gym, that's better. And then I've given you a second workout right below that gives you exercises to do and recommendations, obviously, for all those exercises if you go into a gym. So if you did have access to a gym, you would do the one workout one time and the other workout another time, obviously, with not doing them on consecutive days too, because they're the same muscle groups that you're working on there. So this is really, to me, very simple as far as getting what we need to get done and maintaining our strength, and it's spelled out there for us. We're doing it basically the same way that we did when we were last in the gym and everything like that, where we're switching back and forth between exercises. We're doing 2 sets for upper and lower body exercises, 3 sets for core, and making sure that if you're doing it on a day where you didn't lift, that you're getting a warm-up in like normal. So that is, pretty easy there. They're all exercises that you guys have done in the fitness center. So you should be able to be very familiar with those exercises, and there's a workout on there that you guys should be able to do even without access to a gym to maintain that level of strength. And of course, on those last 2 pages are just workout sheets for you guys to keep track of your self with. Any questions about that?